January 11th, 2023, 9 a.m. meeting of the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners. I'll call this meeting to order. If you all will, please silence all your cell phones and any electronic devices that you have. We'll go to the next item. If you will stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. We will ask Reverend Jonathan Porter if he will do the invocation for us.
Let's pray together. Father God, we are grateful this morning that we can gather in this place. We are grateful for the body of business that will take place here. Father, most importantly this morning, we thank you for Meriwether County. We thank you for our little neck of the woods and what it means to every single person, not just in this room, but across this county, from north to south and east to west. And Father, we pray your blessings upon this county. I pray your blessings upon this commission as they begin a new year, as we have new members who have been elected to serve. I pray, God, that you would give them guidance, that you would give them wisdom beyond anything that man could ever come up with. I pray, Father, that you would just lead them in every aspect. And that, Father, at the end of the day, that they would serve you, that they would serve these people. That, Father, through your guidance, you would allow this county to prosper under their leadership. Father, we pray that all of that begins even right now, today, in this very first meeting of a new year. Father, we eagerly look forward to all that's going to take place. We ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. We come to the next item on the agenda, and these are the appointments. For first appointment is to appoint a chairman of the Board of Commissioners.
Motion we appoint Mr. Brian Treasurer, Commissioner, Chairman.
All right. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you all very much. We come to appointment of the vice chair. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to Mr. Gene King.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Appointment of the county administrator. Michelle Irizarry has been the administrator, does a great job. I'll actually make the motion to reappoint Ms. Irizarry as the county administrator. Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Need a second, please? Thank you.
Appointment of the county clerk, Beverly Thomas. She's done a great job as well. Do we have a motion to reappoint Beverly?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
That happens a lot.
Motion carries. Appointment of the deputy clerk, Allison Stevens, who does a great job as well. Do I have a motion to reappoint Allison?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second and a third. All in favor? All right. Next appointment is the county attorney. It is Glover Davis out of Newnan. We just happened to utilize Mr. Nathan Lee and Michael Hill, but do we have a motion to appoint Glover Davis?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do we have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. You're welcome. Item number 4, to adopt the agenda. Do we have any need to add anything to the agenda? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. No presentations. We'll move to the next item, finance report. Mr. Bill Gregory.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Y'all have several reports in front of you. The first one is the finance report. It has the bank balances of the various funds we have for the county. And I thought I would just take a minute and just go over what those accounts are and where we have them. The first one is a general fund. It's at First People's Bank here in Greenville. And that's we fund the majority of our budget through the general fund, our operating accounts. We collect all the taxes through that general fund. The EMS fund, we have a third-party billing company that bills out for EMS and collects those funds, and then once a month we transfer those to the general fund. Hotel motel tax, this is set up by state law, whereas we collect the hotel motel taxes, and then once a month or once a quarter we write those a check to the Chamber of Commerce, who handles the hotel motel program for us. The jail fund, again, that's statute by state of Georgia. The different courts in the county collect fines, and a portion of those fines go to a fund to help maintain the jail. The DATE fund, which stands for Drug Awareness, Training, and Education, that's a state mandated fund, separate fund that the sheriff uses for drug training throughout the county. E911 is state mandated as well. Excuse me, and those funds, the state collects those for us and deposits them in our account, and it goes towards funding the 911 department for the county. Law library, state mandated as well. The different courts collect a small amount of money from fines and forfeitures to maintain the law library. ARPA, which is American Rescue Plan Act, are funds that the federal government sent to the cities and counties across the country to use for specific expenditures.
Bill, I was going to ask you while we're on that, could we get a copy of what those expenditures can be used for them, for the three new ones?
I'll do that. There are 4 general categories, but I'll get those to you. Animal shelter, those are the donations and fees collected. And that's kept at First Peoples as well. The COL is Colony Bank. It used to be Bearweather Bank, that changed to Southcrest. You'll see 3 accounts labeled LGIP. That's the local government, excuse me, or the Georgia Fund 1 that the state treasury maintains, and we're able to participate in that. And what we do is move excess funds from the accounts that we have, because we get a better interest rate with that account. It's like 2 or 3 times what we get at the local banks. The landfill, that's an amount of money that the state requires us to hold in reserve in case there's issues down at the landfill in Durant. We think we're over what we really need to be, so at some point the board can elect to do something with those excess funds. T-SPLOST, that's an excess amount in transportation, special purpose, local option sales tax to use for anything to do with roads, repairing roads, paving roads, and machine equipment to fund those things. The general LGIP is just excess funds we've got in the state treasury. SPLOST, the same thing with that. Payroll account is how we fund our payroll. I'm sorry. We're not broke. We got some more SPLOST funds down at the bottom. Fire district O&M is county mandated a fire department, and this is the fund that we use to collect property taxes to fund the fire district, as well as the fire bond. 2020 SPLOST and T-SPLOST, those are the accounts that we normally use for those SPLOST expenditures. So if you add for SPLOST, if you add the 491 to the 54 we've got in the LGIP, we've got over 500,000 there. And the 2020 T-SPLOST is, we keep those 2 SPLOST accounts at F&M down in Manchester. As you see, we try to spread the money, the funds that we keep in banks with the banks that we have here in the county.
Bill, where would the lost funds be?
Some of them at F&M and the excess. Oh, I'm sorry, they're in the general fund.
Okay.
Excuse me. We're not required to have a separate account for lost. And that's just a brief summary of those accounts. You also have the other reports are the monthly deposits we get from the state for SPLOST and T-SPLOST, and you can look and see that on the SPLOST funds analysis for the month of December, you'll see the distribution, total distribution, and the breakdown between the county and the cities. Of the 237,663, the county gets 154,000. The rest of it split between the county. And you'll see the percentages. County gets 0.6501. And the rest of it split between the cities. The next report is just the averages that we've collected over the life of the SPLOST program. And this latest distribution, under 54,000, is one of the top 3 that we've received over the life of the program. So we're really doing good in the SPLOST collections. The next report is the T-SPLOST funds analysis, and you'll see the distribution from the Department of Revenue, and then the split between the county and the cities as well. And the last report is just the averages for T-SPLOST, and this month, the county's portion was 129,000, which was, that might have been that's the second largest in the history of the program. So we're pleased with the distributions we get on the SPLOST and T-SPLOST. I know I ran through that quickly. If you got any questions, feel free to ask or just let me know later on. And I'll get the categories on the ARPA.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bill. Next item is citizen comment. Do we have anyone sign up? All right. Next item are minutes. December 27th, 2022, we had a regular meeting just to close out the December 14th, rather lengthy meeting minutes. We have to, I guess by law, close out those few too. So this will be for the December 27th meeting. If I can have a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
So moved.
I have a motion and I'll do the second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We have no need for public hearing. Next item is appointments to boards. Item number 1 is the ACCG Legislative Coordinator. It's a 1-year term which will expire 1/1/2024. This is usually one of us on there. Is there a commissioner that would like to be the Legislative Coordinator? I'll do it.
Thank you.
Make a
Thank
motion,
you.
Rosalie.
I make a motion, make you the legislative coordinator.
Have a motion. Do we have a second? I'm gonna kill y'all. Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. All right. Number 2, Board of Assessors appoint to fill a vacant term that expired on 12/31 or will expire on 12/31/2024.
I make a motion to nominate Robert Phillips.
Okay. You have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. You vote, Gene? All right. Item number 3, the Kathy Board. It's a 1-year term. Nika Carter has been our representative, and I spoke with Nika yesterday. She's willing to continue in that position, so I do make a motion to reappoint Nika Carter. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. All right. Item number 4, IDA to fill a term that will expire on 1/20/2023. This is a 4-year term that will expire. That's written wrong. Yeah. January 20th, 2027 for District 3. Do we have them?
I'll make a motion to nominate Alan Parham.
Okay, Alan Parr. Do we have a second?
I'll second
All
that.
right, motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 5, Industrial Development Authority to fill a term that will expire 1/24/2023. This is a 4-year term, and this term will expire January 20th, 2027, District 5. Do we have a motion, Commissioner Worsley?
Make a motion, we nominate former Commissioner Bethany Hadley.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second? I'll second.
I'd like to make a statement.
All right.
I'd like to go on record that I was appointed to this position to serve on the IDA board from 2017 and have served consecutively, and I am presently serving as chair. And I would like very much to continue to serve in this capacity, simply because of all the work that we do have going on with IDA. And I'd like the board's consideration for my reappointment to that position.
We do have a motion and a second on the floor. With that, do I have a vote? Vote all in favor? You can't abstain. You have to either vote for or against. So do I have a motion and a second? All in favor? All right, motion dies. Do we have another appointment or a motion?
I'd like to make the motion for my reappointment to the IDA board.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
I have a statement after this too.
Okay.
Item number 6, Lake Meriwether Advisory Board to fill a term that will expire 1/28/2023. This is a 2-year term to expire on January 28, 2025. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Mr. Frank Keller to the Lake Meriwether Advisory Board.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna make my statement now. Back to item number 5. This was, Rosa LaPlante actually lost her commission chair seat back to Mary Bray. She was a commissioner at that time. At that time, she wanted to continue to be involved in the county. She went to Commissioner Neely Hadley at that time and asked to be appointed to the IDA. So she was placed on the IDA at that time as a non-commissioned person. She has since served well on the IDA. She has served as chair, which I actually have an issue with, being a commissioner in this county and serving as a chair of an authority board. She and I have had this discussion on multiple occasions. Commissioner Hadley has served this county well. She did it for 14 years. She requested to continue in some type of capacity, and that was to be placed in her own district seat on the IDA, which is now held by a 3rd district commissioner. There is no actual representation out of District 5 on the Industrial Development Authority. So that is why Commissioner Neely Hadley wanted to continue to do something and to be placed on that board. I disagree with the appointment that happened today, and I do not feel that it is appropriate as to what this county actually needs. And I wanted to make that as a statement because there is a reason that Commissioner Plant was placed on that board, and there is a reason Commissioner Plant should not be on that board. And that is because she serves in an elected position, and it is a conflict of interest. And now we have reappointed her with a conflict of interest. So that is my statement on that, and I needed that to be public.
Well, could I speak?
Yeah.
I specifically asked because I was on the tax assessor board and they told me I had to come off that board to be on the commissioner. So when we went to the ACCG meeting, I specifically asked, and they recommended that a commissioner be on that board.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
That's
ask.
what they recommended.
Understand, ACCG is not a government entity. They are a private entity. They do not have any government authority of anything. They can make recommendations all day long, but they are not a
Yeah,
government.
I understand that, but that's where we're getting all our training.
Right. Well, Nathan, what is the,
Well, I mean, your IDEA, the whatever created it, I don't know if y'all have a statutory or it's local legislation, but it'll say in there who your members can be. I would have read it if I know this.
That's okay.
But
I didn't know it either.
but I know, like, for example, your statutory development authority, like most of them are statutory.
Right.
They, you can have a member of the city or the county, because the city or the county can have it, but that's just a economic development authority. This is an industrial, so I don't know what, but there is law that sets it up, and it says who the members are.
Right.
Mr. Chairman.
But as far as the state law statutory ones, you can have no more than one member of this council or commission.
Mr. Chairman, if I could say, same thing. I was at the meeting. I know you pointed out that they're not a government entity. They're a private company, whatever. But it's funny how all 5 of us, and you've done there, and Rosa's been there, and I'm going to class again Friday. We go through this whole organization to get training, to get that certificate on the wall over there through the University of Georgia. So we have to rely on them. Hopefully they're training us and putting us in the right direction. The point he made to me when I asked about it too, so I can make a clear decision on something, is that, like the attorney just said, he said, it's not against the law, it's not illegal to have a commissioner on it. In fact, he said, it would be nice if you have at least one commissioner sit on the IDA, because they can stay on top of things, what's going on, make sure they're getting things done and report back to us. Obviously, she can't vote when it comes before us to something, but,
And that is the issue that,
if they don't come in here like every month for a vote, so.
no, but she's the chair
Right.
of that board.
Right.
And when you have when you're in an elected position and you have an obligation to those people who put you into your seat. When you have to come in and possibly abstain from your elected seat, from giving your vote for those people that put you in your seat, that's wrong. You should first off be able to vote and always vote in this position instead of having to abstain because you sit in another position on that, because you are not elected to that, you are appointed to that, and your obligation is to the people who put you in your seat.
Well, just to make it clear why my decision was today to follow up, since you took time to make that statement, is yes, I did discuss that with them at class at the University of Georgia. Then I reached out to Ms. Jane Fryer to go, hey, what kind of job is she doing? She just went on about how fantastic job she's doing with the board, but love to keep her on the board. So to me, when I see something that's working good and going in the right direction, I hate to interrupt it. But
And I
that was
did-
my reason for my vote today.
Right.
Well, I'd like
And
to make a statement also.
go ahead.
I attended the same training you gentlemen did, where it called out that it was a conflict of interest. I did not go and seek any other counsel as to what I could not do in relation to that. I appreciate what Ms. Plant has done on the board. That's why I too have got the feedback. She's done a fantastic job. My intent to nominate was to have people representation from all areas of the county. Ms. Three Gillis comment, District 5 doesn't have any representation.
Right.
Furthermore, anything that comes to us, then we're down to a 4 even split vote because of the conflict of interest in this plan. I don't, there's no intent to
Right.
discredit Ms. Plant and her work that she's done, and former Commissioner Hadley's done a fantastic job for the county.
Yes.
I don't see any reason why anyone here would think she's gonna do a fantastic job in that role. To me, it is about equal representation for the county, and being able to get the job done.
And I want to say too, it had nothing to do with Rosalie. Yeah, Rosalie's done a great job. I mean, there's no if and buts about that. But now we continue to have two representatives from this district in Greenville on that board with no representation of District 5, and I just think that's wrong.
But that being said, somebody probably should have been appointed to that board from District 5 in 2017.
But I explained the reason why. Rosalie went to
I
bed and
understand
asked.
why, but
Right.
it wasn't somebody from District 5 area.
All right, any other comments? Item number 7, Lake Meriwether Advisory Board to fill a term that will expire 1/28/2023. This is a 2-year term that expires on January 28, 2025. This is District 3, Commissioner Collins.
I make a motion to nominate David Williamson.
We have a motion for David Williamson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 8, Lake Meriwether Advisory Board to fill a term that will expire 1/28/2023. This is a 2-year term that will expire on January 28, 2025, and this is District 5, Commissioner Worsley.
Make a motion, we nominate and maintain Jamie Stevens on the board.
All right, we have a
Second it.
motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries.
Commissioner King.
Lake Meriwether Advisory Board to fill a term that will expire 1/28/2023. This is a 1-year term to expire January 28th, and this will be the 3rd District Commissioner. So I will make the motion to put Commissioner Collins on the advisory board. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Lake Meriwether Advisory Board to fill a term that will expire 1/28/2023. This is a 1-year term. This is for the city of Woodbury. I will make a motion to table this. I have not heard back from the city of Woodbury. I have a motion to table. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 11, Planning Commission to fill a vacant term. This is a 5-year term that will expire on 1/5/2029, District 1. Commissioner King?
Yes, I've invited him here today. Mr. Patrick Dale is with us. He's a great businessman, his family's family, all military backing, and I think he would do a great job representing Meriwether County. So I asked him, would he mind being a part of the board since we're helping to fill those positions? So I make a motion for Patrick Dale to be on the Planning Commission.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Welcome aboard. Item number 12, Planning Commission to fill a vacant term. This is a 5-year term that will expire on 1/5/2029. This is District 2.
I'd like to table this. I'm in discussion with someone and do not have a firm commitment.
Is that in the form of a
And
motion?
form of a motion.
Have a motion to table. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 13, Planning Commission to fill a term that expired 1/5/2023. This is a 5-year term, District 5.
Make a motion to nominate Brad Jordan, local multiple business owner in District 5.
All right. We have a motion to appoint Brad Jordan. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 14, Public Facilities Authority to fill a term that expired on December 31st, 2021. Who was that?
I think it was mine.
It was you?
And I believe former Commissioner Buster McCoy has agreed. Do you still accept that agreement?
I'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
So
I
is that in
make
the
that in form of a motion.
All right, we have a motion to appoint Buster McCoy. Do we have a second?
I second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 15, Three Rivers RDC Board to fill non-public member term that expired on 12/31/2022, and this is a 1-year term to expire 12/31/2023. This is one that's usually a commissioner, right? I've already did the ACCG legislative coordinator, so who's going to step up?
I'll do it.
All right. I'll put that in the form of a motion of Commissioner King. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries.
Brian, you have a question in the back?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner, I think that particular one is a non-public one, and it's usually paid for duty. I believe that's it.
She would be public. Yeah, she's the public one.
I thought you were not,
No, ma'am.
mayor.
There's not another one on here.
Here's the next one, 16.
That's Two Rivers. That's a Bill Cawthorn.
15 does say fill non-public. That's what the agenda says.
It does.
Let me look at something.
I have no idea, I'm just reading.
Number 17 is the one where the commissioner usually say.
Yep, you were right. Thank you very much, Mayor. That is for Fay Purdue, so we will go back to item number 15. I apologize for that. Thank you again.
I'm off of it.
You're off. I will make the motion to reappoint Fay Purdue. I know that she'll accept it. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Motion carries. We all let Fay know.
Yeah, and normally the chairman usually signs, is the one that is.
Not for that. Yeah, it's not up yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Item number 16, Two Rivers RC&D Board to fill a term that expired on 12/31/2022. This is a 1-year term. It was Tyrell Johnson with Public Works. Mr. Bill Cawthorn, who is interim at this time for Public Works, has agreed to do that. I will make a motion to appoint Mr. Bill Cawthorn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 17, Two Rivers RC&D. This is an alternate member. It was held by former Commissioner McCoy. Do we have a commissioner that would like to do the alternate?
I'll do it.
All right. I'll put in the form of a motion for Commissioner Collins. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 18, Water and Sewer Authority to fill a term that expired 12/31/2022. This is a 4-year term for District 1. Commissioner King.
I make a motion to keep Ms. Thigpen, that's already on the board, to continue on with her duties.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 19, Water and Sewer Authority to fill a term that expired 12/31/2022. This is a 4-year term for District 3. Commissioner
Make a
Collins.
motion, nominate Kenneth Murphy.
Right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 20, Zoning Board of Appeals to fill a term that expired on 1/5/2023. This is a 3-year term.
And I make a motion to reelect Vivian Smith,
All right,
continue to serve in that capacity.
we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Told y'all that wouldn't take long. All right, next item is unfinished business, and it is acceptance of the ROW deed and bond for Chambliss Village subdivision.
This is for the right-of-way bond. However, it does need to be completed by Parent Homes in Chambliss Village and signed, executed by them. We thought we would have it by this meeting. We don't. So my recommendation is for tabling this.
Per the recommendation of the administrator, do I have a motion to table?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. It's tabled. Item number 2, discussion of 2023 LMIG projects. Mr. Cawthorn.
Good morning, Board of Commissioners.
Morning. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just pass it down.
Thank you, sir. And while he's handing that out, I want to remind, and especially since we have 3 new board members, that at the last meeting, in the minutes, there was a motion and a second, and it was unanimously passed that members will decide where the additional funds are spent, just as a reminder. And I'm sure Mr. Cawthorn will go into more detail of that.
Yes, I bring this before you because we have a deadline to meet with the Georgia DOT to submit for this, the LMIG funding for this year, which is February 1. And there's a little bit of work that goes into this, and you have to submit it online. So I've put together a tentative project list of candidates to submit to LMIG. This is not set in stone, and as we move forward, before we go out to bid, to have this work done, we have time to make some changes to this. But before you today is just my recommendation on what we submit to DOT to try to secure these funds. It also includes the $525,000 extra assistance that DOT is putting towards Luthersville Road. Do you have any questions?
Any commissioners have any questions?
What's the road that was being discussed over, off Lutherville Road?
What was the road?
That's already on the schedule, though. What's the name of that road?
Luthersville?
No.
Beulah Evans?
That's already on schedule, right?
Beulah Evans is a T-SPLOS project.
Okay, excuse me.
So it'll be something funded out of the T-SPLOS fund. And this is normally SPLOS, isn't it, Bill? The LMIG is supplemented
The
with the
match.
SPLOS.
Correct.
We have,
I just remember attending a meeting discussing Beulah Evans and this here, and I just.
Yes,
Okay.
we have Mr. and Miss Beulah Evans here today.
Yeah, I know. Well, I made sure I was getting it covered.
And then, you know, we've got time to go back if y'all would like to make some adjustments to this.
Do we need to make any decision today? It said discuss, do we need to pass it today?
Yes.
Okay.
We're
So that we
gonna
can
need
move
the
forward.
chairman's signature to submit.
So we can move forward on
Then if the board decides to make changes to this, then we'll submit it when our final report goes back to DOT the following year. So if we change some of the project list.
So do we need to make a decision on the entire list or just the part you need to report to DOT?
It'll be the whole list, and then we can come back, because we need to show all the money up front that we're gonna put up and
The
need.
county has to put a minimum of 30% with the LMIG money and then with that special assistance. So the minimum project would be almost $1,700,000. What I've got for you today is $2,195,000.
So we want to show all that we can.
I make a motion, we go ahead and move forward with the schedule sheet.
And allow the chair to sign. All right. Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Bill.
Thank you.
All right. Next item under new business. Item number 1, no through truck designation on Wrightsville Road. I actually brought this up to the administrator. Since the bridge in Manchester's been closed for so long and we don't know when it will be open, it is complete. They're just waiting on some railings, and according to DOT, there's some other issue that they have to correct. The 18-wheelers are now, instead of going down 85, are going through an actual county road into the city limits, and these trucks are pretty much just tearing up the roads. So I'd like to put a no through truck sign on that road, just to try and detour them, but I doubt that it will do it. But I would like to put that up there so that they can enforce tickets on these 18-wheelers going through that county road. And I will put that in the form of a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item number 2, discuss technology for the Board of Commissioners. Administrator Irizarry.
Yes, in the past, the Board of Commissioners have been provided with a laptop by the county if they so choose to do so. With everything going on with social media, First Amendment auditors, things of that nature's open records, I wanted to bring to the board to see if there needed to be a change in that, because there has been expressed concern regarding possible cell phone, possible iPad, or laptop. And I just wanted to bring that to you all so you all can make a decision on what we need to do moving forward if we do need to make any changes.
And I will comment on that. This is my 11th year. We haven't had cell phones. We've normally had our regular cell phones, but if that is something that this board would like to have, we just had a mandated $5,000 increase in salary across the board from the state. We had no choice in this, so that is going to come back on the taxpayers of Meriwether County. So that's an additional $25,000 this year that we are ourselves receiving amongst the entire board. So if we want to do this, as far as anyone who wants a phone, I believe it's a $30 a month increase to the county.
It's 40,
40,
yes.
$40. Me personally, and y'all can vote it down, I think that with the 5,000 mandated increase that we have, I think the $40 should come out of our own salary issued by the county, if that is what we wish to do with that.
Who's the service with for the county phones?
Verizon, we actually have two. Emergency services uses AT&T, whereas administration uses Verizon.
But why, I wonder why it's $40, because I have a business account with multiple phones on it, and it's $20 to add every phone on.
This is a governmental rate, and I do believe, and Skip might be able to go into more detail about it, that there's some precedence of getting better service for some of the government phones, but I'm not sure if you'd like to go into detail about that.
With the government part we have, if there's an emergency, our phones get precedent over public. We also have unlimited calling, texting, blah, 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 and unlimited bandwidth.
That would be more the reason for a commissioner to have a phone, then in case of emergency, we wouldn't be able to, no, we'd have that same privilege.
Yeah, any of our county phones have that.
Would it be worth looking into to see if we voted to have phones for the commissioners and never have done that before, if it was just a complete separate account? If it would save the taxpayers money and still have the benefits, I don't know.
Money part, somebody else.
I can take care of the money part.
Sir?
Excuse me, I can take care of the money part.
As far as what?
If y'all wanna, board wants to pay their own phone.
I mean, it was just a suggestion on my part since we got a mandated increase, but I mean, it's up to everybody. Y'all can vote however you want. If y'all want the phones, put a motion on the floor how you want it. If you don't want to pay for it and just have a phone, then put the motion out there and we'll move forward.
I just think since you got different commissioners like Mr. Collins, he's in business for himself, I'm in business for myself, and multiple business, so forth. I just feel like that if we're gonna come on this board, we should have a county phone to take care of county business and separate our personal lives.
And let me bring something up, might help you make your decision as well. So if you use a personal phone for county business, for example, if somebody sends an Open Record Act request and they want to see your call list, you would have to go through and redact everything that's non-public. Because if you're using your private phone for public business, those records can be public. So same with email, county email. So that's one thing. If you use your private phone, I just want y'all to be aware that somebody may ask for your private phone records, and you're going to have to, because I'm not going to know what numbers they are. Y'all are going to have to go through and redact them out. But of course, if you have a public phone and your private phone, then you just give them your public phone.
That'd be a lot of work for me. I've had 2,000.
Just make sure you don't use your private phone for public business, what I'm saying, so.
Well, then, that being said, I'll make a motion that the county commissioners have a county phone, because there's no other way to conduct county business if we don't, except on a personal phone. I don't have a landline no more.
All right. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? All right. Motion carries.
Opposed.
You're opposed?
Mr. Bill?
What about the funding?
And put it in there, so it's on the county. Item number 3, road tractor cab and chassis. Mr. Bill Cawthorn.
Chairman and Board of Commissioners, all right. Public Works has brought to my attention that they found a used road tractor that they need to use to haul the heavy equipment around. They found this particular truck that has a rebuilt engine in it and a rebuilt transmission in it, and they've driven it, and they feel like it's a very good unit to have that's not, doesn't have to be a brand-new truck. So they're requesting permission to purchase this truck. We did have in the T-Splosh schedule to replace the old lowboy that the county has for $150,000 in the budget year of 2024. But this unit has come up, and they feel like it would be a very viable unit just to have. But we're seeking permission to make the purchase.
It's $35,000 on a 2000 Mack with 545,000 miles.
And rebuilt engine and rebuilt transmission. And fleet maintenance supervisor has gone and driven this truck and certifies that it is in good condition.
It was on the budget to do next year.
We had it in the schedule for 2024 for replacement at $150,000, but they feel like this truck would suffice, so
There's
kind
no,
of back a year early.
there's no breakdown, no damage or anything that required moving that up. It's just found a great deal. Feel like we ought to take advantage of it.
Pardon?
There's nothing that broke down, no change in need. We just found a great deal and feel
Right.
like we ought to take
Yes,
advantage of it.
that's correct.
Because we've already put this out there for 2024 and it has been allocated at this point, because that budget was for 2024, do we need to take that back now that we're doing it in 2023 at 35,000? Because if not, then that amount of money still stands for 2024.
We'll remove it from the schedule.
Yes. Okay. So we will need to amend the budget. We can do that at our next meeting.
Well, it's the T-Splosh, correct?
Bill said T-Splosh, it would qualify under Splosh or T-Splosh.
Right, well, we had to have already passed it, so we need to know what it was under, and then at our next meeting, we will need to amend it. All right. Any other commissioners?
Do we need it now?
County has a large excavator that we move around, replace the culvert projects with. And right now, we just have to kind of beg and ask some people to move them for us when we don't have the ability to move it. So we're kind of at their mercy. If we had some emergencies, it would really come in handy
When you
to be
say,
able to pick up that
when
excavator.
you say
and move
these
it.
people, who is it you're using now?
Crawford Grading has
So we
been
have-
very generous to pick up and move the equipment for us when we
If
need it.
something happens while they're doing that, that puts us a liability.
Well, we use it for other things, moving backhoes and some of the small bulldozer and things like that too.
Any other questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept? Have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second and designate T-Splosh. Is that it?
Okay.
I mean, we're going to designate T-Splosh, or we're going to change it?
I think
This
that's
time.
where we
Want it to
had
be
it, was in the T-Splosh schedule for future purchases.
Okay, we have a motion and a second with the funds coming from T-Splosh. All in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, next item, report from county administrator.
Thank you, Chair. All I would like to do is say thank you for reappointing me for another year as a county administrator. Congratulations to everyone who's new, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you this year.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, short and sweet. All right, we have report from county commissioners. Commissioner Collins, anything to say, report? Nothing. All right, Commissioner Plant.
I just welcome aboard the new members.
All right, I will welcome aboard everybody. Looking forward to working with you. If I can help you with anything, reach out to me. Commissioner King.
I would just like to thank all the citizens of District 1 who voted for me to represent them here. I hope this 2023 is a great year for all of us to work together, and I'm very thankful, appreciative, and I hope I can make each and every one of them proud that they put me here. Thank you.
And Commissioner Worsley.
Just thankful to be here and appreciate everyone's support and look forward to having a successful year.
Thank you very much. Next item is report from County Attorney.
Mr. Chairman, I have nothing to report.
Okay. Do we have need for executive session?
Yes, for litigation and personnel.
All right, so we have executive session for litigation and personnel. Let me go ahead and read the future meetings, and that is January 16th, 2022. We will be closed for recognition of Dr. Martin Luther King
That should be
Jr.
23.
20 holiday, that's right, Beverly. Thank you, Rosie. All right, and our next meeting will be January 24th, 2023, a regular meeting at 6 p.m. Thank everyone for being here. Do we have a motion to go into executive session for the purposes of litigation and personnel?
So moved.
Have a motion, do we have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? We are in executive session at 9:45. All right, there's no action taken. Do I have a motion to go back into regular session?
Make a motion to enter regular session.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? We are back in regular session. No action was taken in executive session. Is there anything else to come before this board? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. We're adjourned.